T-Mobile is pulling the plug on Sprint's network, and we got the details on when it's going to happen. Hi, I'm Chris at the Mobile Internet Resource Center, here to give you a big update on the evolution of the end of the life of Sprint. Now, for those who've been following along for a while have known that this merger saga where T-Mobile merged with and essentially acquired Sprint has been in the works for years. The merger legally happened back in April 2020, and at the time, T-Mobile said that, they're going to be the dominant partner. The Sprint network was going to be phased out, and it might take them about 3 years to do it. Well, they never really had a specific target date until now, and now we know they're actually about a year ahead of schedule. They have announced that they're finally going to pull the plug on Sprint's network on June 30th, 2022. So less than a year from now, Sprint is gone. The brand might live on in some fashion and marketing side of things, but the cellular network of Sprint, Sprint showing up on your phone, will be shut down. So what does this mean for current Sprint customers? Oh my gosh, what's going to happen if you've been a Sprint customer for a long time? One day you're going to wake up and you're not going to have any service? Well, yes, if you're not paying attention, but T-Mobile is going to make every effort to transition Sprint customers to the T-Mobile network before that date. In fact, they've already been doing this, and they've said that about 30% of Sprint customers are still Sprint customers. They still have the exact same plans, the exact same everything else. They're now just running on the T-Mobile network behind the scenes thanks to a program called TNX, or the T-Mobile Network Experience. So T-Mobile has been signing up select Sprint customers for this, and basically all this does is it swaps out your Sprint SIM for a T-Mobile SIM. It lets your plan become a native T-Mobile plan, but all your terms, your conditions, your pricing, your everything else, all your Sprint plan continues on, because T-Mobile likes to keep those old plans grandfathered in. So starting this summer, they're going to start more aggressively and making more and more Sprint customers qualified to switch to TNX. You can go into a T-Mobile store or a Sprint store, see if you are available to do that now, and make the switch. And for most people, this is a good thing. If you've got a modern phone that supports all the T-Mobile frequencies, T-Mobile's in most places got a bigger, faster, more coverage, better speeds than the Sprint network, so you're getting an instant upgrade even with your old plan terms. But there are some people who will not qualify for the T-Mobile network experience. First off, there's people who have older phones, older devices that don't support all the T-Mobile bands. Particularly a lot of older Sprint devices before this merger was a sure thing did not have support for much T-Mobile compatibility at all. So you probably are well overdue for a hardware upgrade to a new phone, to a new hotspot, to a new whatever. So check your device compatibility, and they'll try and push you to upgrade. And then there are some places where Sprint's network was better than T-Mobile's, and eventually as they transition the towers and everything else, that'll probably be leveled out. But if you are in one of those areas where T-Mobile's really weak and Sprint is really strong, you probably want to delay the T-Mobile experience as long as you possibly can. Now, there's one other shutdown in the works that is happening with T-Mobile that is happening with Sprint, that is happening even sooner, and that is Sprint's 3G network. Now, T-Mobile has said that is going away on January 1st, 2022, so even sooner, just less than half a year from now, the Sprint 3G network is being shut off. And now that does not impact a ton of people because, 3G has been, in the rearview mirror for a very long time. Except there are still some people who are carrying around really old phones, and those will no longer work after January 1st. And there are people who have early LTE phones that do not support voice over LTE. So a lot of the first generation of LTE phones switched back into 3G mode to make the voice calls. And so when the 3G network goes away, they might still have data, but those phones will not be able to make voice calls either. So if you've got really old phones, be careful. January 1st, you might not have a dial tone anymore for voice. One other thing that we're going to get asked a lot about is what about the people who are not direct Sprint customers, but who have Sprint plans provided by a third party, particularly the very popular nonprofit plan providers like Calyx Institute or the FMCA, which is popular with RVers, the Family Motor Coach Association, has a data plan that is powered by Sprint behind the scenes. What's going to happen to these plans? Are they going to become native T-Mobile plans? And our belief is pretty checking in with these Calyx in particular, is that they think their plans will evolve. Perhaps some older hotspots will need to be replaced that don't have the appropriate T-Mobile technology, and perhaps eventually they might have to swap out the SIM cards. But the plans, the terms, everything else, they're expecting to evolve, but they don't have all the specific details. So this is something to keep your eye on. It's got to be worked out between, the particular transition plans will have to be worked out between now and next June when the plug is pulled on Sprint. So that's kind of an update on the end of Sprint. This is not a unique thing. All the carriers are actually kind of eager to transition away from their 3G networks, to pull the plug, to start repurposing all that spectrum, all that real estate in the sky for 5G. So they need more capacity for 5G. 5G is a lot more spectrum efficient. More people can use the spectrum more efficiently, more speed and everything else. So all the carriers have various different deadlines. We keep our article on that constantly updated as the deadlines are getting closer, more details are being finalized, and these networks are evolving from the old 3G era or the old Sprint era into the new 5G future. So that's the update.
These videos are brought to you by our premium members, our mobile internet aficionados. They make it possible for us to track this news and create these videos. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, subscribe to our channel, or better yet, consider becoming a member yourself.